Obviously, getting our first SEC win of the year is a big deal. And, man, I tell you, I told you after the game yesterday, even though we lost, I thought our hitters really competed hard against a great pitcher, didn't back down, and, they just carried it into today. First inning, guys throwing 98 miles an hour. I don't know if they got anybody throwing under 93 or 95 miles an hour. It's unbelievable what a slew of arms they've got. But our guys aren't afraid, we challenged them, and they're getting challenged by this team. But I think our kids have really risen to the occasion, and they don't get a hit every time, but they're up there battling hard and getting their great swings. And the thing about Oklahoma too is that people don't realize how good an offensive team they have. They got a really solid, scrappy lineup that can really run, and just a really good, solid team. So, even though Jake didn't throw shutout innings, I thought he, did a great job for us, got us through 5. And then, of course, Pitzer came in, except for the walks, did a phenomenal job for us, too. But a great win for us, and now we have an opportunity to go win a series tomorrow, which is what our goal was today, to win today, so Sunday's game would make a difference on who wins the series.
Questions for the players? Go down.
Jake, you had to muscle through a couple tough innings there. What were you seeing out there? And I guess how big was that 5th inning when you were kind of running on fumes to get out of there with the lead still and strand that guy at third?
Like Coach said, they were super scrappy. They just kept finding ways to get on base. But yeah, that was definitely the hardest battle of my collegiate career. I'd say probably my entire career. I had to go out there and just fight every single inning. But yeah, I just powered through. So.
McCoy, you said it's your toughest battle. You're fighting through every inning. It seemed like early in those first 2 innings, you kind of got into a couple of jams and were able to work your way out of it. Mm-hmm. What were you kind of thinking in those situations, and how were you able to settle in, especially after that leadoff single to start the game?
Just splitting pitches and going from pitch to pitch. Honestly, you can't let pitches roll over, and I thought I did a good job of splitting them and just taking each guy as their own individual guy and just working my way out of it. So.
Kennedy, you've had some struggles last week, but what did it feel like tonight, especially to get a hold of that ball to left field?
It felt amazing. After struggling a little bit, it's baseball. So as long as you show up every day, forget about the other days, you're always good to go.
Yeah, Kennedy, how similar were the starting pitchers yesterday and today?
Very similar. The biggest difference is yesterday's guy was throwing more of a cutter, and today's guy was throwing a curveball. But the fastball was pretty much almost identical.
Does that help y'all as a group of hitters?
I would think so, yeah.
And Jake, how you mentioned having to kind of battle through some and Oklahoma being tough on you. How mentally taxing is that on a pitcher in general to have a team out there that battles with 2 strikes so hard, but also has so much stuff going on the bases with threats to steal?
It's tough. It is really tough. I felt I came off every inning mentally exhausted. There in that last inning, I came out, and I think I was more mentally exhausted than I was physically. But, just still found a way to power through. I feel like I gave us a chance to win, and that's all that matters. So.
Kennedy and Coach kind of referenced this. Every game's a different game, but you guys were down last night getting pounded, and you kind of fought your way back and made it respectable. And as he mentioned, you were swinging the bats well as a team. How do you feel that carried over to today, kind of getting some confidence against them, even in the game that you were losing last night?
Yeah, each game we're inning by inning. Once the inning's over, the next inning we're always worried about is winning the inning. So as long as we take each at bat, it's very important. Each at bat, we can't throw away any at bats and just fight together as a team. So as long as we're focused on what's ahead of us, we should be fine.
Any more questions for the play?
Yeah, one more for you, Kennedy. Just, squaring up 97 and hitting it 450 feet made it look pretty easy. But, you see so much good velocity in this era, but when you see a guy, 2 days in a row throwing 97, 98, how do you succeed at timing it up so successfully? You guys were on that fastball today.
Preparation. Shout out Coach Lee. We've worked for this all week, cranking up the machines, working on hitting velocity, getting above it. That's the biggest thing. Preparation is key. So we've been preparing for these guys, and I believe it showed.
Anything else, guys? All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
A little disappointed in Kennedy. I predicted he was going to get 4 hits today, didn't I, yesterday? He only got 3. We have to have a talk with that young man.
Questions for Coach?
Couple lineup switches today. Make sure the two you swapped Kennedy and KJ. What do you feel like worked well about that particular combination?
Well, Mayshore got a hugely clutch 2-run single there. That was a big hit in the game. Did that break the tie? Yeah, I thought it did. Yeah. Mayshore's a really good player, and he's been battling this hip thing, as I told you, and he hadn't even been in a game in a while. But I don't know, I just had a feeling it was time to get him back in there. I hated to take Bo Hollins out because he's been playing so well. But, putting Petrie at first base was the way to get Mayshore in there. And now tomorrow when we face the left-hander, we'll kind of reevaluate it all again. But that was what I wanted to do with Mayshore. Originally, I had him hitting lower in the lineup, and then I ended up basically flip-flopping he and Carry-On. I was going to hit Carry-On 2-hole, but Carry-On's just been doing such a great job and giving some balance to our lineup, and he makes things happen. I just didn't want to put the Peter principle out there. You know what I mean? All of you know what the Peter principle is. Aaron, you do. No, the Peter principle. The Peter principle is people do such good work and they keep getting promoted until they reach a level of incompetence. Okay? So you leave people in an area where they're comfortable and they end up doing well. Not that Jordan Carrion couldn't be an outstanding 2-hole hitter, but when he's batting in the spot that he is in the order, he's been making so many good things happen. I just wanted to leave him there where he's been comfortable. So I put Mayshore up in the 2-hole, and if Jordan Carrion had been up in that situation, I certainly would have gambled or bet that he would have come through with a big hit too. But, Mayshore did it. And then, Scobie's just been so hot, and I thought, putting him behind Petrie just covered Petrie a little bit more. And it took a little pressure off of Kennedy for today as well.
Yeah, from a pitching standpoint, it's got to be taxing on those guys mentally with the way Oklahoma plays offensively. What kind of adjustments do y'all have to make as a coaching staff, and how do y'all think that the players, including Talmadge behind the plate, have managed things so far? Talmadge, threw out a couple of runners today.
Yeah, Talmadge has played great, and he's been playing, as everybody knows, with a fractured thumb. And I told him today, late in the game, don't even think about not playing tomorrow. You're playing whether you like it or not. But he's a gamer, He's just a tough kid, and he wants to play, and he wants to win, and he's swinging the bat so much better. We did a little tweak with his stance that I think's really helped him seeing the ball a lot better, and his swings, have stayed through the ball. And I don't think you've heard the end of Talmadge as an offensive player this year. He's going to do some great things before the season's over, and he's doing a tremendous job behind the plate. But, yeah, Oklahoma puts a lot of pressure on you. But you know what, John? Every team in this league puts a lot of pressure on you. So what Jake talked about is the way it is every game, whether it's a coach or a pitcher or a hitter, you're facing the best, and that brings out the best in you. You either cave or it brings out the best in you. And I think it's brought out the best in our kids these 2 days, even though we lost yesterday.
Coach, I'm sure you've talked about it with these guys a bunch already because Nathan Hall's been so good for you. But for someone parachuting in here from out of town, what has been the key to unlocking this for him? I mean, it's we all know he's had tools.
Yeah.
Scouts loved him for years, and now he's doing it. How's that happened?
Aaron, I just think it's a self-confidence thing that he has, and quite frankly, he needed somebody to believe in him that would put him in there and stick with him, and I saw very early in the fall that this kid could be special. That's what they look like. He reminds me a lot of Jacoby Jones. Remember Jacoby Jones played for me at LSU? And, he's got the same kind of build. He's the same kind of athlete. There's not anything he can't do, really. I've even taught him how to bunt, believe it or not. He didn't know how to bunt when he got here. But he's not only a tremendous player, tremendous athlete, but he's also a very tough competitor. I mean, he gets 2 strikes on him. He's a tough guy to strike out. You know, he spreads out a little bit, starts thinking about going to the opposite field. He's just been one of the great joys of coaching here at South Carolina. My only sad thing is I'll probably only have him for 1 year. But you're going to see this kid play in the major leagues. I think he's going to be a really good player in the major leagues, quite frankly.
Coach had a couple innings there in the middle, in the 4th and the 5th, where you put 8 batters in the box. Kind of how big were those middle innings, both towards the momentum of the game and also the confidence of the team?
Well, you know, we've believed in ourselves. You know, we've tried to make these kids believe they can accomplish anything that they put their mind to it. And, you know, we're trying to earn people's respect. You know, you got to go out there and earn it. And you earn it by playing well against good teams. And, you know, I thought we played a good game last night. We just had a terrible start, you know, to the game. And we fought back, and we got the tying run to the plate at one point. And then, unfortunately, they hit a couple solo home runs and you know, separated themselves late in the game. We hit into a couple double plays late in the game to squelch rallies. But our kids believe in themselves. And when they do that, if they have the talent to follow up with it, then good things are going to happen. And there's never been an ounce of negativity in the dugout. Everybody's been upbeat, positive, believing in themselves. And I think it shows the way that our hitters are going up there and attacking the ball. And I don't care who they run out there. You know, you look up there on the board and see 95, 98. My goodness, when I played, you never saw anything like that. I don't know how they do it, but our kids are getting the barrels of the bat out there, and they're putting the good wood on it, you know, and they're hitting the ball. And we had some really clutch hits today, and that allows you to put a crooked number up on the board.
Not to diminish any of your other 15 wins, but you beat a top 15 team here today. From the fan standpoint, just maybe like a statement win for this team here. I know it's early in the year, a lot to go, but I mean, it kind of says to them, you know, we can beat a nationally ranked team.
Well, I hope our fans believe in us. You know, we have wonderful fans here, and you know, I think they can feel the energy within the team and the belief in themselves. And the players are great kids. I've told you that many times here. I have had the time of my life coaching these young men. They're just the nicest kids in the world, well behaved and polite and just very coachable. You know, never problems with these kids. They're just a wonderful group, and I think the fans recognize that they're really good kids. And now they're you know, I mean, we beat all the teams we were supposed to beat before the SEC, except for, you know, the tough series with Clemson. But I've said it a million times. Those scores were very misleading. They were all one-run games in the 8th, 9th inning. They were well-played games. And, you know, I didn't think we knew how to win then. And now I think we know how to win. And, you know, that's not taking anything away from Clemson. They beat us, and they deserve to win the games. But, you know, we're ready for the challenge in this league. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll only have 28 more of them.
You have a lot of pitchers who will sometimes get into trouble.
You notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they find ways, a lot of the times they find ways out of it. Is that something in their composure, or is that something that you and Terry really work with them on?
Well, it's something Terry talks about constantly with them, okay? I mean, you don't want to walk leadoff hitters, and you don't want to walk batters, and, you know, but they are going to get hits, and the kids aren't perfect, but not giving up and to stay the course and keep battling right to the end is something that we emphasize with all of our players, and certainly with the pitchers. But I did ask Pitzer before the 9th inning if he felt good enough to finish the game, and he said yes. And I said, will you please do me a favor and don't walk anybody? I'm 67 years old. I don't know how much more my heart can take, so please just throw the ball over the plate in the 9th. He got a little close to walking somebody, but he still threw it over the plate, and we got through the inning.
Matthew got up there at the end of the game. That would have been his 3rd relief appearance of the week. Just maybe you don't have an exact number.
No, Matthew never got up.
No?
That was Palmer down there getting up.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, no. It was Aiden Palmer that was hot.
Was he available tomorrow?
It should be. Yeah, he was hanging a little bit today, but to be expected.
I think I'm right in this. You had Carey on bunt up a runner. I think in the 7th inning maybe to get to Henry Casmer with 2 outs.
Well, he was bunting for a hit.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he was bunting for a hit. He just bunted it too hard.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Kazmar came through with a big hit. That was a nice tack on run. Yeah, but I wouldn't typically sacrifice bunt with 1 out. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't all that unhappy that he advanced the runner, but at the same time he was trying for a hit.
Scobie 2 days in a row. I mean, we've heard the buzz on this guy. I knew he was a line drive machine in the fall, but the power starting to come now. Are you seeing him unlock that? And how's that happen? How are you guys getting that out of him?
Aaron, he's going to be a special one too. I fell in love with Scobie right from the beginning because he's such a great defensive third baseman. Like this guy, the only person I could compare him to, you remember Christian Ibarra, who played for me years ago. This kid's that level of defensive third baseman. I mean, he's really, really outstanding. And I've said this many, many times, when you coach as long as I have, I can remember 2 seasons, one at Notre Dame and one at LSU, where our season virtually was ruined because we didn't have a defensive third baseman. And I know that position is the most underrated position on the field. You don't realize you don't have a good third baseman until you don't have a good third baseman, okay? And Scobie has just made all the plays, and if he hit 050, he'd play every day because of his defense at third base. But I knew he could be a good hitter. He showed glimpses of it in the fall, and he got off to a slow start this spring, but he's finding his groove now. His confidence is growing with each passing game, and he's batting right in the middle of the order for us now. I mean, he's going to be one of the very best players in this league going forward. All right. See y'all. Oh, let me announce tomorrow's game is going to be been moved to 2:30. There's going to be a big thunderstorm working its way through here. It's supposed to get here at 7 in the morning. I'm now the weatherman. Ready? The thunderstorm's supposed to get here at 7 in the morning, push through by 11. It's a little bit of rain after that, so we thought 2:30 was a safe time for start time.